So, like, every Wednesday and Friday, I go sell my plasma. They call it donating plasma and selling your time. Whatever. It's not illegal to sell blood anyway. FDA just recommends against it. There's more incidents of people that will have infectious diseases and still go to sell their blood, the plasma. So, but plasma is actually broken down and used in therapies. It's not kept as plasma. So it doesn't go such an intensive process. Anything's gonna die anyway. But then they also have screening before that. So I've been cheating on keto lately because my wife started a new job and things have just been really kind of hectic with her settling in. So we're not really like paying real close attention. We're still kind of doing it, kind of not. I'm eventually gonna get, I don't know, I may not go completely back on it because we're about to go get a gym membership. And I get in really good shape whenever I'm actually just exercising anyway. And the only reason I want to go on keto is for the exercise. I still need to do no sugar, low sugar stuff because I have severe problems with sugar. So I get about $150 a week selling my plasma at Cat Plasma. It's $150 a week. If you're just trying to like bring money in to pay bills so you can live small and do more important things with your life, it's a lot of money. $150 a week is a lot of money. And right now I'm just working from home building this company. So $150 a week, gets me things that I want. Nutraceuticals. Then I have a part-time night job on top of that. So it's the best situation for me to be able to get work done. If you don't need to show off, it's like it's not really an entrepreneur mindset anyway. And people, have this thing about the rich and the wealthy, but they've never actually really met the rich and the wealthy. A lot of them did not start rich and wealthy. They started out of the suburbs, out of the projects, and they just have their priorities right. And because they're producing a lot of value in other people's lives, they're bringing in a lot of income, and because they're making smart investment decisions, it's all connected, and there are no small, there's nothing small you can do. If you neglect one thing, that could turn into a whole. I have this thing, probably because of autism, that there are routes to earning money to me that are just very unattractive. Crypto's one of them. I've been looking at for a while. Trading on decentralized exchanges. And it appears that there's some pattern that has been a machine traded pattern that has been intentionally put in place. I don't really fully understand the dynamics of it. I just see the way that it's moving across multiple cryptos. Together there looks like a sequence where you can basically have a money button. If you just need money, you hit your money button. It's like, I don't know, man. I don't know what my deal is with crypto and that, and trading in general. Like, I started, but working on the money button, But it just becomes like this dragging feeling as I'm working on it. Like, I just want to do something else. I love their Diablo sauce. It's not like a normal hot sauce. It's like a sweet hot sauce with a lot of heat. But I'm ultimately fine. This is the topic that I really talk about quite a bit. Is that people are so focused on money. And money is, all it is values representative. So, what can you do that produces a lot of value in people's lives? And I probably wouldn't have been able to get through all the work that I've gotten through over these past 5 years if I were so focused on money. If I cared so much about money. Because one, no one's paying me for this. I have to have my products and services done, and they have to be valuable to my customers who I'm targeting. And that's how I make money, because they determined it was valuable for them. So, I'm making an investment this past 5 years that on my expectations, that I understand their needs and that I'm making something for their needs. If I'm wrong, I'm just going to have to keep going, right? Here's the thing, though, is at the end of the day, I make robots, and they make things, and they can make robots that make robots that make robots that make things. I'm just not doing it right now because I'm in a really weird position with people. In a very big understanding, relatively. I'm not claiming to be wise. I'm saying relative to other people's understanding of like our existence in the universe. Mine's a lot bigger. And so, and I can tell by the way people speak. And so, my priorities are a lot different. What I will sacrifice, what I will be patient for, because of what I know. Oh, so I probably wouldn't. I mean, can you imagine being followed around by a cult, harassing you everywhere you go, grocery stores, on the road, to get in your car with you when you're driving for Uber, and they mess with you in there. It's then on top of that, my wife's dreams haven't really been fulfilled, and I have to manage that I don't have a corporate job and a mortgage and all these things. And if I was not confident in what I know and why I'm doing it, it would break down. And I believe that it's extremely important that this comes together enough to suffer as much as I did for her. It's almost like, it's like I can't move. It's like, kind of think of it like we're like in a rushing river, right? And people don't know that we're going somewhere, that we're going somewhere bad, or that we're going to fall off the edge of a cliff, a waterfall. But I see it, and so I'm hanging on, and people are fighting for me that I'm causing a blockage, right? So that's basically what's going on. People are fighting me that I'm causing a blockage towards a rushing river running off the edge of a cliff, and I can very clearly see it. So I'm just like, well, I'm just going to have to stay here. People are fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting and fighting. Why aren't you doing this? Why aren't you doing that? I want you to go this way. I want you to do that. What I don't understand anyway is that why do people like actually involve themselves? I'm like, this is what I want you to do with your life. Like, I could understand it if you were out there causing trouble for other people's lives, right? Like, why do you have to opinion? you don't know very much at all about anything. A lot of these people doing this didn't go to college, don't really have much of an education in anything that's extremely valuable to anyone, and they have just tons of advice. And it's like, this is what I want you to do. Why are you talking to me? I don't want your advice. Why do you feel like, I'm not trying to be rude, I'm like saying, like I wouldn't go up and tell people and say, look, I want you to do this with your life. I want you to go work for IBM. I want you to go work for NASA. I want you to go work for Microsoft. Come on, Bill. Oh, wow, there's somebody actually named Bill in this platform. I don't mean you, but just like, come on, go work for Microsoft. Why aren't you working for Microsoft? Cognitive dissonance. It's like, what? Why do you have an opinion? I don't want to work for Microsoft or NASA or IBM for many, many, many reasons. There are just so many reasons. So I don't want to work for the government or these large companies. Let's see. They would be making millions of dollars off of my work. That if I thought of the problem like that, I could do that. Those could be my millions of dollars, right? You're basically in a contract with them that all the work you do is their work. And so if you really have any kind of ideas on your own, it's really kind of gray. Oh, is that your idea? Is that our idea? We may win in court. We may win. It's a really good chance that we're going to win. A superior attitude. This whole, people that are in this system really like the system because that gives them an social advantage that, okay, now I'm your superior. Well, you're not educated enough to manage my life, so you can't really be my superior. Well, I am your superior. Okay, well, I'm gonna leave. Or I thought about this before it ever happened and just never went there. Right? The government kills people. The government kills lots of people. I don't kill anyone. I'm a pacifist. I want nothing to do with war. I think this is a bunch of insane, satanic, belligerent, alien, childish bullcrap. This is stupid. I want nothing to do with it. Now, we're protecting the country. If you let me protect the country, if you let me take my robots and have my AI build systems that basically just neutralized any attacks, and then we used my strategy, which is weaponized diplomacy, treat people like our loved ones, treat people like they were once upon a time a little baby and they grew up in their environment and they're kind of a victim to that, we would be in so much better condition, right? But the thing is, it's kind of, that's why I kind of paused me saying that, is I'm not going to build them stuff because they still have nuclear weapons and guns and all these things that are designed to kill people. So I don't actually want to give anyone that still has the idea that killing other human beings is a good option stronger defenses. And you say, well, you live in this country. I live in this country. I live on this earth. I can't see people living in China as inferior human beings to me. I can't see people living in Russia as inferior human beings to me. And on top of that, in Russia, they have their young men so, I don't know what the word is for that. I've just destroyed them so much internally, and then they don't even want to go off into the Ukraine and fight. They send them anyway. They threaten to, their family, throw their families in jail and stuff. Why would I actually want to kill anyone in that position? They're having a hard enough time as it is. I don't want to kill you in that position. They're like, well, this is war. This is what it is. You guys are a bunch of freaking fraud, phony, uneducated little children, right? Because you could choose to do something else. Instead, you kind of want to do this. It's like a bunch of people without dads all trying to kind of like integrate themselves into the idea of manhood with a bunch of other people without dads. And so none of you know what you're doing, right? And you're all just kind of like going off of the media, going off of movies, going off your imagination, these inflated feelings. It's stupid. It's stupid. And if somebody doesn't tell you it's stupid and disagrees with it, you're going to have more of an advantage to continue doing stupid things that is actually hurting people that I care about very much. There's just so many people. I have to really think hard about what is my strategy going to be to help this situation. And I've chosen Elite Marketing. And it's not just a company, it's an algorithm, it's very big math that basically systematically gives everybody what they want. And the algorithm just grows and grows and grows by competition, by things such as jealousy. Jealousy gets in there and you try to do a better work because you're jealous. Jealousy isn't good, but you're inevitably using the fruit of the spirit afterwards, and you can't discredit that, right? So if you're going to be more patient, you'll work harder or suffer longer because you see somebody else has something that you don't. That's kind of a good way to go about it. Jealousy isn't good. This whole thing over here isn't good, but you're kind of detached from that when you come over here and you work like a sensible human being. So this is what I'm doing, among other things, and because there's just so many people. I have to handle the situation. If I handle the situation one situation at a time, I'd be completely overwhelmed as far as my knowledge goes, and that's what I have to work off. So, that's as people become more educated, because most of the educated world doesn't agree with war. Most of the educated world doesn't agree with war. Nobody agrees with this, right? The people somehow in the system, these childish people are still able to make it in a place where they can make these decisions, and people just accept that this is the way it is. Well, as long as it doesn't come over here, as long as it doesn't come to my home. When it comes to other people's homes, when I'm seeing a family on the street in Ukraine that have been shelled, and you have this 16-year-old girl bleeding out on the street when they were trying to get away, that came to my home, right? That hits me like home. Seeing that happen is like seeing my own family, people that I can model accurately, relate to their experiences, and laying out on the street, and I'm modeling what they're going through as they're experiencing that, and I don't want them to go through that, right? But you seem to think that this is acceptable, that there's anything that justifies this. So we need to remove this stupid behavior from power, right? But it's not the people, it's the behavior. So we need to attack the actual behavior. We need to actually attack the mechanisms that is causing this to be allowed in those positions. And then we'll all do a lot